Would you like to send the display to 60Hz mode? For the sake of this Let's Play, yes I absolutely do.
Look at that!
Welcome to the sun-drenched tropical paradise of Isle Delfino. We're so pleased to welcome you to our beautiful home. Come enjoy a natural wonderland to which we've added the world's finest resort facilities, a spectacular amusement park, and succulent seafood. All this and more await you on Isle Delfino. Come relax and let us refresh your body and spirit.
Yes, Mario, that is right. Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I'm from the likes of the Merxy Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll present to you our next redo Let's Play for our channel. In this case, we are playing through Super Mario Sunshine for the Nintendo GameCube. Now, this game first came out in 2002, alongside with the forms of Mario Party 4, as well as the original Metroid Prime game for the Nintendo GameCube, along with any other titles here and there as well, which I couldn't exactly top of the list or something like that. So either way, and this might actually be the last 3D Mario game for doing the actual Let's Play up until this point, because I don't know if depending if the forms of how the fact that if God knows that Nintendo were able to announce the next 3D Mario game at some point in the future, but for now on though, we'll just have to mainly focusing on this for now on. And originally that White Teddy did manage to did this Let's Play back in 2014, but I did manage to double check on it, and that's the reason why we are doing this Let's Play for this point right now, because back in the day, since 2014, the quality itself might be a little bit better, but unfortunately though, same applies to the forms of the actual game audio as well as, you know, the usual sound mixing department issues. So either way, that's why we decided able to go for this particular game once again with much more better quality, and also same applies to a much more better emphasis on sound mixing department. So either way, as you can see on these file A and C, I did manage to 100% this game loads of times in the past, so I managed to delete the file B, and let's dive right into Super Mario Sunshine.
What happened? What's this icky paint-like goop? It's moving!
No, no, boys! Don't touch that stuff!
Excuse me, but... Huh?
I am most concerned with the well-being of the princess in this dreadful heat. Master Mario, if you would, cross over to that shore and find some assistance.
So, from the start of the actual main game itself, Mario, be careful, I have a bad feeling about this. Yeah, because me either, because we ended up on this particular let's just say some sort of like an airport kind of syndrome like this, because from the start is the fact that if you're familiar with Super Mario 64, you do realize that some of these Mario's movesets is back. Like for instance, we got ourselves the triple jump, somersault, ground pound, and all the other jazz. The only move exception is of course the long jump ability, but that's fine by me because we'll discuss more about it whenever we're able to continue proceeding for this Let's Play. But there's nothing we can do right about now apart from this particular contraption right there, which we'll slowly approach to this eventually. Let's see what this guy has to say to us. Help you? Are you crazy? We're the ones who need help. Okay, take that water pump and clean the airstrip, you. Alright, fair point. Let's go and check this out.
Power up complete. Thank you for purchasing this item from GAD Science Incorporated. Preparing to register customer information. Scanning and classifying subject data. Subject identified as Mario, resident of the Mushroom Kingdom. Data storage complete. I am Flood, a flash liquidizer ultra dowsing device. I hope to be of assistance. Proceeding with user instruction. Use the R button to shoot water from my tank. If you press the R button all the way down, you can stop and shoot. You can then use the control stick to aim in any direction. Press the X button to switch to the hover nozzle. You can then press the R button to hover in the air for a short time. If this tank is empty, no water can be sprayed. To refill tank, enter a body of water and press the R button. Instructions complete. Proceed.
So after this has been done, that the game tells you need to able to hear these instructions again, well, there's no need for that because we've already exactly what this will able to represent for us. So either way, this is how the new thing is actually introduced in this game, which appears to be Flood as the forms of that specific the liquidizer kind of spray mechanic, which it's pretty cool though, because even then, not only does it brings you to the forms of likely, for instance, for example, we need to take care of this little paint of goop, and then basically we need to able to take care of this monstrosity right here. So either way though, in order to actually deal with this mini fight is the fact that you have to spray at his mouth or inside of his mouth 3 times, and then when you've done so already, I think that's pretty much it for the most part, apart from the fact that, well, the actual emphasis on this though, you're gonna have to do that a lot, which we'll explain more about it whenever we continue for the sake of this Let's Play. And oh, would you look at that? We have ourselves some sort of like a spiritual sequel to the Power Stars, although we'll call that and doing it just a second. But for now, you can also just manage to utilize Flood as in 2 different modes. One you can able to utilize the spray and the other for hover. So, whoa, I really thought I was a goner. Hey, hang on, it's you. This whole mess is your fault. Oh, excuse me, you dumb idiot. I haven't done anything, but I digress. We'll find out more about it whenever we continue things on, but for now, here's the first Shine. In this case, the Shine Sprite, which we'll learn more about it in just a moment, but for now, let's go ahead and save our game quickly, and then we'll see what happens during that time, so yeah.
Nice work, Mario.
Quite an unusual device. Is it some sort of pump?
I am Flood. Glad to meet you. Hey, someone's coming.
Court is now in session.
As you are no doubt aware, someone has been senselessly defacing Fair Isle Delfino using some paint-like substance. The accused is charged with polluting our beautiful home, and yes, endangering our very way of life. Indeed, how can one not be aware of what is going on? Though it is daytime in Delfino Plaza, our poor residents tremble beneath a veil of darkness. Expert Shine scholars have determined that this darkness has arisen because all of our guardians, the Shine Sprites, have vanished from their gathering spot at the Shine Gate. The reason? It's quite obvious. This horrible graffiti is to blame. Behold this sketch of the perpetrator based on eyewitness descriptions. The truth is obvious. The guilty party sits among us. It is none other than Mario.
Objection!
Overruled. I judge the defendant guilty as charged. I hereby order the defendant to clean this entire island. Until Isle Delfino is completely free of his vile handiwork, Mario shall not be allowed to leave. Court adjourned.
This appears to be quite a predicament, Mario. Data analysis verifies that the island's inhabitants are indeed troubled by pollution, but the pollution itself is not the main problem. Mario, you witnessed this object at the airstrip, correct? It is a Shine Sprite. Shine Sprites are the source of power on Isle Delfino. They used to gather in great numbers at the Shine Gate, but the graffiti incident has polluted the island and most of the Shine Sprites have fled. There is no longer any power to support the peaceful lifestyle of the islanders. It is most pitiable. The only way to ensure the return of the Shine Sprites is to keep the island from becoming any dirtier. The perpetrator is likely at work even as we speak. And you, Mario, are being treated as a criminal. Tomorrow we must do our best to resolve this situation.
Pretty interesting, huh? So either way though, like the forms of a tutorial video, you can also just manage to select the actual explanation again, but unfortunately for me, nope. We're just able to continue things on and just deal with the actual job for that situation right here, so yeah.
Go straight that way. You can't miss the mess now. Your first job's to get rid of all that ugliness. And remember, we'll be watching you, pal. We'll know if you start slacking off.
Okay, I'll listen to your specific rules, Governor, but either way though, let's dive right into the forms of the actual emphasis on this is the actual Delfino Plaza itself, which is basically, it's like the actual hub world of any sort, which basically, just like the forms of how it does it on Peach's Castle from Super Mario 64, except the fact that no longer we need able to jump into paintings and stuff like that. Instead, we can able to actually explore around for a moment, and then basically in this particular objective, for the first objective I should say, for, you know, Delfino Plaza, as you can tell, that we need to clear out this mess during the forms of the actual Delfino Plaza itself, such as you can see on that particular side right there. But before we do this actually, let me just go ahead and deal with other things to take care of first, such as for instance that much like the forms of Super Mario 64's secret power stars, yes, Delfino Plaza does retain some of the secret Shine Sprites, which one of them is actually in here, which basically we need to find that specific picture image of the actual Shine Sprite, as you can see right there. And then if you found that, well, you can able to actually get yourselves the next Shine Sprite, if you can clearly tell, because technically speaking, we've already got ourselves the first Shine Sprite, which is on Delfino Airstrip, which I think that's what the actual area itself is called. So naturally speaking, it's actually pretty swell and easy task. But then eventually at this point, until likely for the later missions later on, that eventually some of these missions will go pretty easy, whilst most of them can be pretty difficult later on, which trust me when I'm saying this, because this is without a doubt one of the hardest 3D Mario games to ever 100% on, because even then, we'll explain more details about this whenever we're able to actually get into that specific stuff. So, now let's go ahead and move on back onto the forms of the exact same area again, except now we need to hop onto these little different islands, as you can see right there, and this is what the Flood's hover nozzle comes in, because that way, it might be pretty impossible if you're able to make it for this point. Mario, get in the pipe, thank you. Anyway, and then basically, just like the forms of in Peach's Castle, some of these pipes were able to take you to those special obstacle courses, as you can see right there. Like, for instance, for example, on this first obstacle course stage, as you can see, it takes place in some sort of like a the tallest slide in the forms of the above from the skies above, and basically we need to make it all the way to the bottom, so that way you can get yourselves the, of course, the Shine Sprite. No, 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 no. What? Oh, come on, man. That was the first death of this entire Let's Play all along. Ah, that's embarrassing. You see what I mean? When it comes to the forms of trying to 100% this game is actually a lot difficult than it looks. Just because of how the fact that not only some of these missions can go simple and easy, just able to actually get a grips with, but some of the later missions can go pretty much in hell, basically, whatever we get to later on throughout the game. But it's not so bad in the beginning, as you can see right there, despite with the despicable death that I've managed to pull it off, because I just wasn't really paying attention to the actual angles of the actual jump. But I'll just take it anyway, just for the sake of clarity, but whatever. So anyways, I think we're pretty much done for this for now on, and because of this though, there's not much else we can do apart from the fact that, why there's so many wanted posters as you can see right there. I mean, surely they may look like Mario himself, but obviously regular Mario hasn't done all this kinds of chaotic mess or something like that. It appears to be some sort of like a, well, we'll find out in a moment temporarily, but for now, let's just go ahead and talk to Princess Peach for a while, so that way we can able to see her just in time before we deal with other things, so, you know. Oh, Mario, you okay after all. I just knew you would be. And yeah, it tells you exactly where we're supposed to go. It appears to be like an octopus from that specific pattern right here. And why is this sky so dark? Huh, it's not sun-drenched. This is handily my idea of the relaxing vacation, Mario. I want to go home right now. In this case, going back into the Mushroom Kingdom itself. But too bad though, we need to be able to force to deal with the forms of this particular task, as you can see, because, well, without any sort of permission or anything like that, well, basically Mario will be in jail again. So even then, I just want to make things up, basically. So, and basically, as you can see right there, if you manage to squirt this thing quite a amount of times, then you might actually deal with this guy again, except now he was in a chocolate flavor? Seriously, I'm not even kidding. It kind of reminds me like a chocolate kind of color design from the looks of the actual standpoints, but you know.
Princess, look! On the statue's head!
So yeah, we did manage to clear the rest of all that stuff, and look at that, we come across into the doppelganger version of Mario. And yet again, Peach has been kidnapped again, so I was like, oh for goodness sake. But I digress. So basically, in this particular part is the fact that we need to stop the actual doppelganger of Mario, which appears to be, well, as far as his name suggests, is the fact that, well, we'll explain more about it until likely the next day, because for now, ow, 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 not fair, completely unfair. You should have been allowed to use these tools like that. Oh really, huh? Let's check on Peach. Mario, I'm sure I saw that person out on the airstrip. I'm positive he's responsible for all this. Chase him! Yeah, we'll definitely chase after him, Peach. We'll definitely have to chase after him. So basically, the actual beginning portion is the fact that you need to spray Doppelganger Mario quite a few times, and then you can able to actually just to stun him, or if in this case, deal the amount of damage on the forms of Doppelganger Mario, which either way, it's pretty simple if you manage to get the hang of it though. Now let's just get this guy clean. Phew, you saved me, thanks that bundle. Which I think that's what happens every time you're able to actually clean those Piantos, as far as I'm aware, what these guys are known for. But then again though, if you're following through our Let's Plays of Super Mario Galaxy 2, as well as Super Mario Party 9, then you do realize about the fact that we've already come across into those Piantos before. So basically, that Doppelganger Mario is now escaped, or if in this case, has managed to jump right into the forms of the first world, as you can see. And this first world right here, Bianco Hills, the first world in this game, and it appears to be we're going on to episode 1, which is Road to a Big Windmill. Which, yes, just like in Super Mario 64 and before Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2, and even especially noticeable with Super Mario Odyssey, that we're going to be going through mission by mission kind of structure. Although the noticeable difference this time around though is the fact that unlike in Super Mario 64 as well as Super Mario 64 DS and even Super Mario Odyssey is the fact that, well, you can't really decide what set of missions you always have to go through in every time you're able to revisit those worlds. But instead, you have to go for these missions in a chronological order, just like the forms of how it does it on Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2. Although, despite the fact that we might actually once again come across into ourselves some of these secret shrine sprites every once in a while, which we'll point it out whenever we get to it. So here in this first mission on Bianco Hills, as you can see right there, basically we need to squirt, this particular chocolatey monster again for about the second time so far, and basically you have to do this 3 times, and then boom, that's how you're able to do it for this particular fight. So, but yeah, it's pretty simple and self-explanatory if you manage to get the hang of it though, especially when, you know, most of these boss fights are pretty cool to look at. Well, one is usually up at the top of the windmill over there, but then again, we'll show it off until later on anyway, because, well, I'm afraid we haven't got enough time for it though, because, well, eventually at this point until I'm going to be uploading these kinds of uploads during Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, just like how usually Defi has already done that since Super Monkey Ball Step and Roll and stuff like that. So I figure I might as well able to do the same thing for this game. So, alongside with that though, is the fact that obviously Piglet, he's still able to actually tackle through, Yoshi's Crafted World recently. So even then, at this point in time, he'll able to actually go back into it until tomorrow on Tuesday. Because yes, I forgot to mention about something, is the fact that today's day is the forms of March the 2nd today in 2020. And that means that today, perhaps around the same time as when this has been uploaded during recently, Mario Party 9, you know that game on the Nintendo Wii, right? That did first came out on 2012 in March the 2nd, I'm assuming. That game has been out for about 8 years now. I mean, jeez Louise, time itself has managed to went flying by. But I digress. So yes, here's the next shrine sprite, as you can see right there. You need to only get like 1 coin at minimum, so that way you can able to ask that Pianta right there. So that way you can able to ask him to able to get tossed onto that specific broken mirror, and then that way you can able to actually get yourselves the next shrine sprite. So yeah, that's how I essentially gonna go for that. But we're not exactly done with this yet, because I feel like I was gonna go after 2 more shrine sprites, and that will be about it for the sake of this video. And then eventually at this point, much like in Super Mario 64, I'm actually going to be going after the most, at minimum for about 7 or so powered shrine sprites as far as I'm aware. But then again, we'll find things out for ourselves until later on. But for now, let's enter this building right here, and basically we need to go and deal with the forms of, well, destroying all the block syndrome, basically. Because basically, we need to do this in a time limit too, so that way we need to be able to do this fast before the time runs out, because otherwise if the time runs out, then you're probably not going to get the shrine sprite after all. So either way though, since the first one is pretty easy though, and by the way, you need to do this twice by the way, in order to actually get the next shrine sprite, because the first shrine sprite is pretty simple, self-explanatory, because they all just kind of like somewhat close to each other. But then as soon as you're able to actually get onto the second challenge on the exact same destroying a box kind of missions, the actual formation will able to change for a little bit. So even then, we'll point it out whenever we dive right in. But for now, we'll just go ahead and well, just keep on going back there. And also, not to mention though, is the fact that the more you collect those shrine sprites, as you can see right there, the actual areas on the forms of Delfino Plaza might actually start to brighten up a bit. So even then though, and just like the forms of Super Mario 64, and especially noticeable for Super Mario 64 DS, Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Super Mario 3D Land, Super Mario 3D World, and Super Mario Odyssey Let's Plays, I'm obviously going to be going through 100% playthrough of this game, because, well, featuring the forms of all these shrine sprites, and also some other collectibles too, which I'll explain more about it whenever we discuss more about it until likely on Wednesday. So either way, there's the next shrine sprites, which this time around though we need to ground pound all of the boxes again, except we need to ground pound them from some sort of like a pole formation. So even then, it's pretty simple and self-explanatory if you manage to get the hang of it though, but usually I found these missions to be quite easy to able to actually just to dive right in, so... And I suppose, I think we should end things off at this point right there, so... Yeah, that's all I can really say about it. So join me next time on Let's Play Super Mario Sunshine. It's the fact that we're about to be heading back onto Bianco Hills and do some more missions here and there. So see you guys on Wednesday. Later, fellas.